Hey everybody, we are just about to start our next prophet series through the book of Jeremiah. We just finished Isaiah, and we are now going to go through Jeremiah until the end of the year. Both of these two prophetic books are some of the longest books in the whole Bible, which is why it's taking a whole year just to do these two, and then we'll finish off all the other prophets next year. And so Jeremiah is an amazing prophetic book. It shares much in common with the other prophetic books about this balance between hope and judgment. In fact, we see this as kind of the key theme through the book of Jeremiah. In chapter 1, we get this picture of God calling Jeremiah from a young age and using him to be his spokesperson, and that's what a prophet is, to the nations. And in verse 10, God says to Jeremiah, "See, today I appoint you over nations and kingdoms, to uproot and tear down, to destroy and overthrow, to build and to plant." This twofold job is kind of what Jeremiah's outline is all about. It's words that are going to tear down judgment and condemning evil and systemic injustice and idolatry, and yet there's this promise and glimmer of hope, and this is what prophecy is all about. It's a call to the people, to the nations, to turn from their evil and sinful ways and turn back to God. Otherwise, their sin will overtake them. But even if that happens, even if we don't listen and we don't pay attention and we end up destroyed in exile, God's promises are still true. God is still going to be faithful. God is still going to deliver. There is still hope. Later on in Jeremiah's book, God says that to a people that are now going through exile, that no longer is he going to give out the 10 Commandments on tablets of stone, but he's going to write his commandments on the human heart. That he's going to be renewing his people, even those people who rebelled and are broken. And so this is Jeremiah's twofold task, to call out the sin and injustice of those around him, but also to offer hope. And in fact, we see this in Jeremiah's own life as he struggles with this as a prophet through this book, and the book of Lamentations as well is a continuation of Jeremiah's his weeping over the destruction of Jerusalem. And as a prophet, he wrestles with this. He is bold to proclaim God's truth, especially to people who aren't listening. And he desperately wants his people to turn and experience God's renewal, but they don't. They reject it. And he gets rightly angry about this. But then he also struggles deeply with the rejection of his message. He struggles with when that judgment finally does come, which happens in Jeremiah's lifetime. And so he is known as this weeping prophet, this prophet who stands up boldly and proclaims the justice and judgment of God to those who are caught in continuing to live in their sin. But also he weeps over when that judgment does come, because he loves and cares for his people and his nation, his community. He doesn't want that to happen. He wants them to choose God and choose life. And I think we can learn a lot from Jeremiah's words and his attitude as well. And so as we jump into Jeremiah, I hope that we can wrestle with that twofold nature of what it means to go and proclaim God's truth to people who don't really want to listen and pay attention, but also to deeply care for those that don't know God, to offer them hope and to weep along with, over them and alongside of them, that we might see God's wrath turn away, and instead we might see God's Spirit writing his commandments on their heart. And so, as we jump into Jeremiah, these are the things that we ought to keep on the forefront of our mind. If you want to watch the Bible Project overview of Jeremiah, that might be helpful too. And we're going to jump into the first few chapters of Jeremiah next week. So saddle up. It's going to be a great ride, and we'll see you later. Bye.